Hello and welcome to this micro training video from FMCG Academy. Simply pause on the screen if you want to read the cover slide. Today we are going to jump on to the fifth scenario of the various common scenarios that impact the P&L. So we've done the higher list and wholesale price and how that impacts the P&L. We've done the shelf and promotional pricing. We've had a look at weeks on promotion changes. Very common one, higher retailer margin. Retailer wants higher margins. So we've done all of these, and make sure you watch some of these videos as well as the full P&L, which is the basic FMCG product P&L video. Make sure you watch that so you understand how these various scenarios and the spreadsheet has been built up. Today what I'm going to do is jump to the fifth one, which is unit sales projections are incorrect. Now this is another common scenario. Marketing sales normally put in assumptions to arrive at unit sales, and we're not going to get into how they arrive at those assumptions, what assumptions they make to arrive at the unit sales. But what we're going to see is if they are incorrect, what's the impact on the P&L. And normally I've found in most organizations they tend to be a bit over optimistic, though you can be pleasantly surprised if they were pessimistic and it turns out to be much better than you actually thought it would be. Jumping straight into Excel, this was the original sheet, which I'm hoping you've already seen how it was constructed piece by piece in the basic FMCG product P&L and how the formulae were built into this. Today, the sheet we're going to use is this to run through some of these scenarios there. Essentially, you've got column HIJ, which is absolutely frozen in that shaded sort of color, and that's got the numbers which are already here, absolutely frozen, so they won't change. The numbers will change here, and I've got a split screen here so you can see the P&L at the bottom all the time as I make changes up there. Gross sales value, in the green cells we're going to capture the variance as a percentage, so that's essentially this number here versus of column F versus column I, and a percentage variance on that. The red cells are going to capture the variance in the percentage, so it's a much just looking at whether the cost component goes up. So the red cells are all cost or investment components, and their percentage of gross sales, has that gone up as a component in your P&L. While out here all we're going to do is capture flat variances between column F and I in terms of seeing how the money is flowing. So today's scenario was incorrect unit sales assumptions. We are not going to fiddle at all with the pricing. We are leaving that absolutely the same. So all has been agreed with the retailer, and you are in the market now. And 3 to 6 months down the line, you're figuring out that your unit sales per store per week assumption was incorrect. Now, I'm going to make a very small change here and show how that impacts the P&L. So average unit sales per store per week non-promoted, which is at $5, I'm going to change that to 9. And you'll see instantly how that impacts your P&L is dropped 5%. Your net sales value has dropped 5.6%. Your discretionary trade spend has gone up as a percentage, 11.2 to 11.7. Net product contribution is down 6.2%, and sales and marketing contribution, which is what you get finally measured on, is down nearly 10%. How the money flows, you've basically gone down $136,000. Your fixed trade spend negative is a positive actually, and that's come down, so you're left with net sales negative of 112. Your product cost comes down, so that's a positive in a way, and you're left with a net product contribution which is 70,000, and that flows all the way down to your sales and marketing contribution. So all we've done is change this. The discretionary trade spend essentially also goes up because your units on promotion, you see that movement from 51% of your total units to 54. So they're a bigger component in your unit mix. Total units are down, and your total retail sales value, which you would use these two numbers to measure your unit market share as well as your value market share, which are two key critical sort of measures which marketing uses. So all we've done is brought that down to 9 and had a look at the impact on the P&L. I'm going to swing that back to 10 and say, okay, so let's assume that we hit the average unit sales per store per week on the regular shelf price. We do not achieve the uplift. So that again, if I drop that from 20 units per store per week to 19, the impact is a bit smaller. In terms of discretionary trade spend is better because there are less units to promote on. But overall, it's still a negative story. You are basically negative 3% on your P&L there. What's happening if we essentially change the P&L again. If we go back to, let's say we're going to hit 19 and we're going to go up on the base. So there are different scenarios that happen. Now it's a positive story. So you could have a better basic, non-promoted unit sales per store per week, which is higher, and you could have a lower uplift on your promotion. So all I'm trying to do here is show you that play around with these numbers, get a good understanding of the sensitivity some of these numbers would have in terms of impacting your P&L and how it could look. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Talk to you guys later.